Hello friends and welcome back. Just a very quick recap. So I'm back at the stealth camp spot where we attempted to stealth camp. So long story short, I came down here at about 10 p.m. and had found a spot that I thought was great. However, there was so much street lighting around that the entire area was illuminated. I got cold feet about that. It didn't feel right. I felt really on edge, and I know I would have spent every moment of that night just on edge, and that wasn't going to work. So I looked for an alternative spot, and I came to another part of the same green area, the second part, and I found what I thought was a great spot. It was really close to the road, but there was no street lighting, so I was far closer to cars passing and the occasional pedestrian, but I was in almost complete darkness, and that was great. Maybe I was just nervous, maybe just felt unsafe or just uncomfortable or whatever, but I was staying where I was intending on staying for the night, but I kind of felt like I probably wasn't going to sleep at all. The ground here is really firm. It's almost like concrete. It's really sharp and dry. After spending almost 3 hours not being able to sleep but just hiding away in my spot, I then was just falling asleep. I just couldn't fight it any longer, and I probably just would have got a few hours sleep, but I would have been okay with that. Suddenly, bang! So there was some kind of a collision here on the main road, not far from, really close to where I was initially going to camp, actually. I mean, just a few meters away. So thankfully my instincts were correct on that one, and that was not the spot to be in. But anyway, so I heard this bang about 2:30 a.m. I could hear people speaking and something was going on. I needed to go and check it out. I was concerned maybe that two vehicles had collided. There could be somebody injured. So I quickly packed up all my stuff, and another concern was that police would be called, obviously, to investigate the situation. I thought they could be looking for people in the area. Maybe the person involved could have fled the scene, and they could be looking for people hiding away, and I really was just about 20 meters from where this took place, I later realized. So thankfully I had unpacked in a way that meant that it was really easy for me to just throw my Snugpak jungle bag into my bag, roll everything up like just a temporary fix, and then just quickly scan the ground quickly, make sure I hadn't left anything, and then just moved off really fast. I went to the main road, and I could see that I think what had happened, it seemed to be that a vehicle had had lost control, perhaps drunk driving or a stolen car, or they were speeding or something. They had lost control, and they had ploughed through a traffic light pole with a box on it. It's now missing, so it was scattered all over the ground. Like they were just the boxes, there's like 3 or 4 boxes. They were all scattered across the road, big chunks of metal and various pieces of debris around. And so the car had screeched, hit that, and then had attempted to drive away, and spent a good couple of minutes like screeching, dragging this metal, probably trapped under their car, trying to get away. And they did. So when I went to investigate, there was a couple of people there just on their way home, I suppose, and there was a guy on a motorbike who told me that he suspected that like someone had lost control and hit this traffic light pole and then fled the scene. And he was calling the police because obviously someone needs to come and clear the debris from the street. It's dangerous, of course, so yeah, it was quite a drama. I was tempted to maybe find somewhere else, just to not abandon the stealth camp completely, but in the end I just decided to go home. I think I was pretty shook up by that bang. It was quite scary, to be honest, and maybe I think it would be pretty scary anyway, but given the circumstances of where I was and where I probably shouldn't have been, I just wanted to get moving. So yeah, we're back now in that spot. Where I was staying is just over my shoulder there, and I've just checked it out. I wanted to make sure that I hadn't left anything behind. It's the daytime, obviously, and there are lots of people walking around, and I'm also in the full view of these houses over here. I've seen people in the windows already, so I was thinking of stopping here and making a coffee. I'm not going to do that here, so I'm going to find somewhere else to do that, just so I don't arouse suspicion or cause any concern for local residents, right? I don't want to do that, of course. If I'm going to make a coffee, then I'm going to use my gas stove for that, and yeah, I don't think with this dry ground, I don't think that's such a great idea. So, thank you for joining me. I'm going to make a coffee, I'm going to do a product review, I'm going to review my Snugpak jungle bag. Yeah, and then we'll see what happens with the rest of today. See you soon. Question: why are people such Salud. Hey friends, okay, product review time. The product review for today's adventure, JW5-4 is the Snugpak jungle bag. I've used this now 3 times, I believe, which is a little premature for me. Usually I like to use something at least half a dozen times before I review it. But it felt right, you know, just because we had a stealth camp, and I feel like I've used this in pretty harsh conditions, and I think I knew pretty much immediately when I started using it what my opinion of it was, and yeah, I want to share that with you today. Apologies also if I seem a little distracted. I've been sitting here for a few minutes and already I've had a fair number of ants like running across my leg. They're harmless enough. They're, you know, they're not biting. They're not. They're not causing me any real discomfort or anything. Just if I seem distracted because I'm flicking them away constantly, I apologise. So, Snugpak, which is a UK company, but the jungle bag is manufactured in Asia, and I paid 48 euros, I believe, for this, which is actually far less than is advertised on the Snugpak site. I bought it from a third-party retailer here in Spain, and I think I may have got it on a special price or something. I will open this in a moment and show you some of the features inside. Some of the key facts: so it weighs less than 1 kilo, so it's 900 grams, which is super lightweight actually. It measures 220 centimeters long by, I'm going to say 70 centimeters wide. That extra length, 220 centimeters, is quite generous. And when you're doing a stealth camp and you're bivvy bag camping, and that's all you have, for me personally, I like to have everything inside the bivvy bag itself. So having that little bit of extra width and length means that I can put my bag at my feet, for example, between my feet. I can put something on my side and I'm not like so unbelievably squashed in. So I think that those extra 10 centimeters or so in width and length really does make a difference. It makes it a far more comfortable sleep. What else? The material is polyester. Now they have some specific descriptions of the polyester. They are this, oh, and this. Cheesy. So it's supposedly like an antibacterial material. That's what it's labeled as, an antibacterial fabric. I'm not too sure about that, but what I do know is that you don't at all get this kind of musty, stale smell that you sometimes get with others. And it does, I have to say, like I've always opened it up when I've got home. I make sure I've aired it out for some time, and I think that's definitely helped. But I do feel as though the material feels very clean. I think I really care for the things that I have. I don't have a huge number of products, so the things that I do have that I invest money in, I make sure that I do my best to treat them as well as I can and keep them and maintain them. But there is something about the fabric in here, like it's a kind of ripstop, really strong polyester, the exterior, and sorry, ants all over me. But yeah, so what do I like about this Snugpak jungle bag? Well, pretty much everything. I'm gonna, spoiler alert, I really love this pack. I think it's actually pretty great value considering some of the other options from competitors, and I feel that the quality in the materials used in this are excellent, even just down to like the plastic buckles, the drawstring, just everything about the build of this feels really strong. So the first time I used this, I was stealth camping at San Miguel, and I took my Unigear Comfy P3 sleeping pad. That was too wide. It's a generous width. I think a standard sleeping pad would be fine in this, but it was too wide. It was really putting a strain on the sides. But I never at any moment felt that like it was going to cause an issue with any of the stitching. I really never had any concerns about like the structural integrity of this, and I really like put a lot of strain. It was really tight around me, and the zip, there must have been so much strain and pressure on the zip because I had so much packed in because of the sleeping pad. Yeah, I just had no concern at all about like the quality of this. It has an internal pocket, which I think is great. Again, especially for stealth camping, there's a couple of things I want on my chest at all times, you know. A couple of things for protection and like essential valuable items. I just want them, and a head torch as well, for example. I just want 2 or 3 items in that pocket that sits right on my chest. Always, it's right there. No matter what happens, I can grab it in 1 second. I don't have to be rifling through my pockets. I have had to do that before in previous camps, where I have to keep the most essential things like in my pocket, just so I can easily grab it at any moment. But then when I'm a side sleeper, so I'm rolling onto my side and things are sticking into me, and it's just uncomfortable. With that pocket, it's great. It has a two-way zipper lengthways, and then it has a two-way zipper, a separate two-way zipper for the feet. So that's actually great. So for ventilation, you can open up the bottom part and you can have your feet completely open, so you can put your feet out if you wanted to. It's good to have those two zips independent of one another, I think, so you're not running a full like J-shaped zip all the way around, having that option of 2 and 2. I'll talk a little bit more about the zips because there is one drawback in relation to that. That's my one complaint is in relation to the zips. We'll come on to that. Key feature of the Snugpak jungle bag is it has a mesh mosquito hood. That's fantastic. So again, when you're stealth camping, what you're lacking, of course, is a sense of security. You're presumably camping somewhere that you possibly shouldn't be, and you want to be as discreet and undercover as possible. You just want to lay low. You're not always in a position to be able to check in detail, like exactly like what are you sleeping on, what are you sleeping near to, in terms of bugs, rodents, even snakes in this area. I've seen a snake here, and things like that. The fact that I can have it zipped up on my feet, zipped up on the side, and then completely enclosed and zipped on the mesh on the top, but I can still breathe. I don't feel like I'm suffocating inside. With some hooped bivy bags, you feel like it does feel really claustrophobic, and this does too to an extent. But I think if you line it up correctly and you don't have the mosquito mesh too high, so it is right down here to over here, which is how it should be, you don't let it get pushed up, right? Then you can breathe unrestricted, and it also helps you to regulate your temperature as well, because it does get really hot in here, especially in this climate. And that mosquito mesh means that I have no concerns about getting bitten or anything entering into my safe space. Here we have the mesh hood. It's a really fine mesh. No mosquitoes are getting through that, I'm sure of it. And it's optional. You can roll this up and put it inside the hood, and it means that you can use it just as a standard sleeping bag without this, or you could use it, open it and use it flat as a quilt without having to use the mosquito mesh at all. It's an option. Alright, when you're stealth camping, you have such a tiny space that you need to feel safe in, and that is your domain. Like you wouldn't sleep otherwise unless you had some sense of like, I'm okay, I'm protected in my own way, I can live with this situation for one night, I can sleep. So it's really important that you have that sense. When security is lacking in a stealth camp situation, you really do need to feel like you can sleep. And I think without this mosquito mesh, I would really struggle with this. I would not be able to sleep if I was fully enclosed. Also for visibility, with a mosquito mesh, I can just put my head up and look around and see, like, have a full field of view, and it's great. Another excellent feature of this is its size. So it has these compression straps on the side, but even without fully using this, because you wouldn't really want to keep it packed fully compressed for very long, it's only 18 centimeters by 15 centimeters when it's packed. That's awesome, because it's like half the size of my sleeping bag, and it's even smaller than some of the really high-end down sleeping bags, for example. It's almost the exact same width as the bag that I use, my 30-litre backpack that I use for stealth camps, and it's the same color, which is convenient, and I can just strap this to the bottom and you don't even notice it's there. I really like how I can strap Snugpak to the bottom of my bag. I just feed these clips, the straps through the straps on the jungle bag, both sides, so even if they come loose, it's just going to dangle. I'm not going to lose it. And it just sits there hanging at the bottom of my 30-litre Quechua backpack, and it's just really secure. It doesn't bounce around. If I want, I can pull it really tight if I need it to be really secure, but this is a great benefit. I don't have to take up really limited real estate inside the bag. I can just strap it to the outside and the base, and I don't even see that it's there. When you're stealth camping, of course, like especially if you're just scoping out the area before you head in, you don't want to immediately stand out like it's obvious that you're intending on sleeping or camping there. So if I put this inside my bag, you would never notice. It's really easy to discreetly place it into a rucksack or something. It just looks like someone's just out for a walk, just with maybe some food or drinks or something like that. You would have no idea that there's actually a full sleeping system in this tiny little bag. It comes in various colours. I think it comes in 4 different colours. There's a black, there's the kind of camouflage colour, there's a light khaki colour, I believe, and then there's this, like an olive green. It's kind of military grade style green, and for me it would always be this option. For me personally, that's just my style, especially if I'm stealth camping. Like this or black would both be great options, right? Now, what do I not like about the Snugpak jungle bag? The only issue I've ever found with this is in relation to the zipper. It snags. I find that even without putting any pressure on it, even if I'm not inside the sleeping bag and I'm just zipping it up just when I'm at home after airing it out, I find that it constantly snags. Here we can see the zippers on the bottom at the feet. They're not YKK zippers, by the way. And here, the zipper for along the side. I mean, look, even then, you see how I tried to open that, and let's try and do it again. It just snags a little bit there, even there at the top. Just a little, I have to give it an extra big tug, so to speak. What's interesting is it doesn't seem to snag, like the material around the zipper doesn't seem to get stuck in the zip. That doesn't seem to be the problem. I'm not really sure what it is, like why the teeth of the zipper are becoming like restricted and it keeps getting stuck. I'm not sure what that is. I don't think it's a specific defect with this, because I have heard other people say the same thing. And it's not a major issue. It's not like it does it every centimetre, like it takes ages. But every single time I do it, at least once or twice, I get it gets stuck, and I have to just pull it out straight and then do it again. And it's not a major issue, but when you're stealth camping, for example, that's not really something you want to be dealing with. Using the zip at all when you're stealth camping is not ideal. It can be quite loud. Or this one is quite quiet, I have to say, but it's just kind of slightly irritating. You see? Snagging again. Maybe I did that too fast, but I don't understand why it snags in this way. And now the base. You see, look, I can't even, it's just stuck now. There's nothing in the teeth of the zip. Now it goes. But I had to open that all the way out, you see? And again, it's stuck again. Look. So the zippers are metal. They're not plastic. And they do feel strong. But I just think the teeth are really fine. Why did they not go for slightly bigger teeth? Fewer and bigger. I'm sure there's a perfectly good reason why. It could be a cost factor, but you know, I think I'm looking for negatives really with that comment, because I don't think it's such a major issue. And the zipper on the mosquito mesh is fine. That's completely smooth. It's a different type of zip. That's a smaller zipper, and that seems to glide much more easily. It's really only the lengthways zipper that just seems to snag several times sometimes. But hey, overall, I think the Snugpak jungle bag is fantastic. I also like that you can open it up into a full quilt. That's important for me because I'm not somebody that likes to sleep like restricted. I'm not really a fan of mummy bags, so I don't actually like that feeling of restriction. I can live with it for the purposes of stealth camp because I think it's a necessity. But if I'm camping in a tent, for example, I really like the fact that I could open this out into a quilt. I think that's really important. That's not the case with many sleeping bags. It's rectangular, not mummy shaped, so it doesn't taper, which means it can be laid completely flat and used as a blanket as well. So opening the jungle bag is super easy. So you'll notice that the lighter green color of the compression sack is in contrast to the darker, richer green of the actual jungle bag. I don't know if you can see the type of, maybe here's a, you can see where the name is printed. Perhaps you can see the contrast in the color. So there's a really dark green text here, and this beautiful rich like dark green color is just perfect. I really like the color of this for stealth purposes especially, but it's just so strong. It really is. I mean, my other sleeping bag I wouldn't want to do this, to pull it, but like I have no doubt at all, like all the stitching feels so strong. The quality in this just feels superb. So, in conclusion, the Snugpak jungle bag gets a 9 out of 10. My only possible complaint would be in relation to the thickness of the teeth on the zipper. I do think that could have been upgraded to a stronger. It could be YKK, for example. Maybe that would help. But yeah, it's awesome. I highly recommend the Snugpak jungle bag. It will be my go-to option for a long time for stealth camps. I don't see how there's anything that's better than this. If I just want to take one item and feel safe and dry and protected from the elements, and it's stealthy and it's lightweight and it's incredibly good quality, it just ticks all of the boxes of everything that I need for a stealth camp. Jungle bag, bivy bag, it's the one. Leave no trace. So we've survived until the end of another JimbowWalks adventure. I hope you enjoyed JimbowWalks 5, first ever urban stealth camp. It was a bit of a disaster. It's tricky with these stealth camps. There are so many uncontrollable factors and so many variables that it's really difficult to structure them in an organized way. But I made sure to include a product review, the Snugpak jungle bag, a beer review, the Steam Brew IPA, Imperial IPA, and some gratitude time where I gave some thank you to Josh and Marcus, two of my friends from Barcelona, and of course Grace's Adventures. Please check her channel out, she's amazing. In general, I think it could have gone a lot worse this trip. Certainly it was a little more dramatic than I would like. I would like to have stayed overnight that first night, but it was a really good test, testing out my equipment, testing out the setup. I think I've learned how to do these better next time, so please stick with me. We'll certainly have better organized stealth camps coming up very soon. As always, I really appreciate your support. Please, 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 if there's anything you can do to support the channel, whether it's liking this video, sharing, subscribing of course, but in any case, just you having seen this video is a huge help to me in these early stages of the channel. So thank you as always for your support. Much love, gratitude, peace, love and happiness to everyone. And thank you.